so much good happened at this past meet. Lexi Zeiss in particular going to be starting off with a Yurchenko 1.5. I saw her stick it in warm-up.
Oh!
Just like that. When she stuck it in warm-up, she ran off and she said, I saw the ground. So when somebody can put A plus B and equal C, guess what? She's going to be able to repeat that in the meet, and she did.
And she has been so clutch for this team. If there has been some ups and downs for the LSU Tigers, she has not been one of them. She has just been solid from day one. Worked so hard in the offseason to get ready for the competition season, and it's certainly showing. Now, somebody who's important to this Kentucky team as well, Cecily Rizzo. She's going to lead things off here on the uneven bars.
And this is really an opportunity for the Kentucky team to improve on bars. I watched them in warm-up, and they had some really strong handstand positions like we're seeing here. And it's the overall confidence that we're looking to see, that momentum build from start to finish. Unfortunately, did not get that last cast handstand, fought for the dismount. But they're 1 for 1 in terms of a hit routine.
Yeah, Kentucky coming in, scoring 2 team scores in the 194s. Just to give you some perspective, if you're not a follower of women's gymnastics, a 198 is really a national champion level score. And the 194 is one where you don't even make it to the postseason. So that was very unheard of for Kentucky. So they're trying to build on that. They're a team that's finishing the top 10 in the nation the last 4 seasons in a row. Here's Connor McLean for LSU.
Going to be doing a Yurchenko layout full. This is a 995 start value. But watch her hip position when she comes to the floor. Had a hot back. I wanted to actually see her open her hips a bit more before the landing. She would have stuck it, and she's actually really good at those body shapes typically in the twisting. Watch how high she gets off the table. She does a good job waiting before she twists, and just check out how high she gets off that vault table. Nicely done.
And just to keep it in perspective, that vault table roughly 5 feet or so above the hard floor below. You add 6 feet. She's above the rim, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering how high that vault really was. On the right hand of your screen, as we look at first Ryan Noonan, sophomore, about to jump up on the bars for Kentucky. Right hand of your screen, the scoring tower. Each team has their lineup for their respective events. You can see LSU on top with their vault lineup. Lexi Zeiss's score is already in. We're waiting on Connor McLean's. Kentucky below them. Cecily Rizzo's score not in yet, and that is why Ryan Noonan is standing there waiting on the uneven bars. But all the scores will come in. The lowest score, as we go through, you'll notice is lightly shaded. That means it's currently the lowest score for that team on that rotation and the score that would be dropped. We'll keep you updated as we go along.
That skill right there, it's called a ray. It's new for her this year. Really good rhythm into that connection. They want to see some stuck landings. They only had 1 last weekend. We're clocking 1, and it's just the second athlete up, so they're on a good trend. Good handstand position. Judges want to see that vertical shape. See her arms bent a little bit on the catch, but overall, really good job, and that should be their highest bar score so far.
Yeah, Cecily Rizzo opened with a 9.725. That certainly will go up. I'll tell you what, I watched Kentucky warm up. They are not a 194 team.
No.
This team is poised and ready to put up a much, much bigger number today. And they have a good start early as we look at freshman Nina Ballou on vault for LSU.
She does big gymnastics. Wow, I cannot believe she stuck that.
I think she's a little surprised too, Sam, the look on her face.
Listen, she twisted too quick off the table, in my opinion. You can see her arms bent, and she really rushed the twist. Usually an athlete can't pull it out like she did, but not only did she pull it out, but she saved herself any steps on that landing. That was impressive.
That was amazing. Looked like she was scrambling a little bit in the air, but man, sometimes it just all works out. Gabby Van Freyen, another freshman competing here tonight, follows Ryan Noonan's 9.875. Great second score for the Wildcats.
Nice Jaeger release move. Get things started. Head coach Tim Garrison said they're actually She's doing 3 cast handstands in her routine. They really don't like doing that at Kentucky because it's more opportunity for deduction, but she does it pretty well. Oh man, 2 steps on the dismount. I'd like to see her chest a bit more vertical when she hits the ground.
And that's just a great example of how a score can swing. You know, if she sticks that landing, you know, you might be talking about a 9-9-ish score, but 2 steps, and you got to think, you got to take a 10 for each, and her shoulders were down. What do the judges do with that? That's another opportunity to take a deduction. So we will see how the judges shake that one out as Amari Drayton, the junior from Spring, Texas, follows Ballou's 9.75 for that Yurchenko 1.5.
And this is where that LSU vault lineup really starts heating up. Doing a huge Yurchenko 1.5. Watch how high she gets off the table. Oh, man, just as high as she got off the table. You saw those equally large steps when she landed. So that's really the hurdle for this LSU team. They have really big, huge vaults, which is amazing, but it's about figuring out how to control the power when you land, opening up a bit sooner to spot the landing.
And that's so tough, Sam. You saw her put her arms out as she's opening, and you're asking her to put her arms out so much earlier, which is so counterintuitive to a vault like that, which you're worried about under rotating. It was a huge vault. Tough to stick that one. Chesney Bennett now for Kentucky on bars, following a 9.725 for Van Fran. They really got her on that landing on that dismount.
Really nice pirouette to that vertical handstand. This is looking really good. Nice save. Man, again, it's just slightly shy of that stick position because of the chest position. And to me, it almost looks like they're going a little too hard for those sticks. But this is impressive, and I can't emphasize this enough, how difficult this is to hang on to. You got to squeeze every muscle in your body in order to not cast over and fall on that.
Kalia Lincoln now on vault. We saw Mari Drayton do that huge Yurchenko 1.5, just a 9.7 for that vault. Kalia Lincoln also capable of that same big-time air we saw from Drayton.
Talk about another athlete that it's a blessing and a curse to have so much power. And again, really big hop. So if you're trying to judge this vault at home, a small step or hop is up to 1/10, a medium is a 10.5, and a large hop is 2/10. Now, John, I don't know, that might be a large hop there.
Flirting with a large hop.
Yeah,
definitely.
A medium plus. Can you do a medium plus?
That's how I get my steak cooked, actually. But seriously, that's what people need to understand at home is when you see a step like that, you're leaving it up to the judges to decide. And beauty's in the eye of the beholder. One judge's large hop might be another one's small hop. So that is where the difference in scoring can come. Isabella Ravelli now for Kentucky, following a 9.775 from Bennett.
Oh, man. She was really shy on her first cast handstand, and sometimes when you're shy on your handstand, it actually throws off the rhythm for your next skill and just mistimed that release move.
So you can see the Kentucky scores. That Cecily Rizzo score of a 9.725 is lightly shaded currently. That means it is the low score for that team on that event. They will have to count that score because of that Ravelli fall. They have one gymnast to go, Delaney Rodriguez. They are desperately going to need a hit routine from her to avoid counting a miss.
She actually fell on a release move last week, and it's always unfortunate when you go again and you do it perfectly the next time. It's so frustrating as an athlete because you know you're capable of it, and it's just the smallest little difference from missing the bar to catching the bar. And John, as you and I both know, you practice hundreds of these. So when she goes for her release move and she lets go, she needed to hold on about 1 millisecond longer, and her dowel grip would have helped her catch the bar. Finish strong with that double layout, good stick.
Doesn't seem like you always stick your dismount after you had a fall.
It
That happened to you.
That, yeah.
Lexi Zeiss stuck her vault in the opening as the opening competitor for LSU, and one person who can stick a vault as well as anyone in the country is Kaylin Chio. She has an uncanny ability to find her feet LSU really is going to want to stuck vault here. They have not put up big numbers for them in this vault rotation.
I saw her stick one in warm-up as well.
There you go.
Wow. It's just too easy for Kaylin Chio every time. Her timing is impeccable on this Yurchenko 1.5. Look, her arms are straight on the table. She waits to start twisting. And then if you're looking at her eyes, watch her eyes. She's spotting the ground right there before she finishes that last half twist and knows exactly where she is to just plant her feet and stop moving.
Jake Letz's excited, smiling face right there. Let's go down to Taylor.
Guys, you would think Kaylin Chio would have been so serious, so locked in. She was asking me about my shoes right before she went on vault. She's such a unique competitor, the ability to just flip the switch just like that.
I knew you went with the right choice with the gold shoes, Taylor.
Thank you, Sam.
Meanwhile, Delaney Rodriguez on bars and a big routine for the Wildcats.
In talking about bright spots, Kaylin Chio's that for LSU, and Delaney is certainly that athlete for Kentucky. Does a good job waiting on this bar routine.
Got to have a hit.
She delivers. Again.
Delaney Rodriguez has delivered over and over for this Kentucky team. 92 of 108 routines she's ever competed have been a 9.8 or better. How about that? That's not bad. Meanwhile, Kaylin Chio a 9.95 to finish off that vault rotation for LSU. You know, they started with a big score and ended with a big score, but in the middle, those 9.7s and low 9.8s for LSU with the big vaults they have, they're going to look at that as letting a few tenths get away. Kentucky will get to drop that Ravelli 9.275, and I suspect this Rodriguez score will definitely keep them in it. I'm guessing LSU will have that lead, but it won't be insurmountable. They're 3/10. Not a big lead, certainly. But if you are the Kentucky Wildcats and you think you're going to get out of here with the win, you can't let that lead grow. Addison Hofseth will lead things off for Kentucky handball. Can they string together some stuck landings?
Oh, man. Yurchenko layout full. And again, I think going too hard for that stick. Because there was a lot of, I call it happy feet. You know, there are a lot of happy feet, a lot of movement after her feet hit the ground. Yeah,
you're talking about, you know, up to a 2/10 step. That very much appeared to me as a 2/10 step. You can't hardly take a bigger one, so we will see. That is a 9.95 start value vault, so you would think they can't really get higher than a 9.75 if they do indeed take 2/10 for that step. Lexi Zeiss led off in a big way on vault. She's been outstanding here in the leadoff position on bars as well.
Yeah, she's only a sophomore, but it's been really fun to follow her college career so far. And even just when she's saluting, you can tell she just has this confidence about her. She was in this leadoff role last year and did really nice getting things going for them. But just watch how aggressive she is with these cast handstands and the way that she attacks her landing. Wow. Last week, she got a 9.9, which is really what teams are hoping for. Their leadoff can score that 9.9 or higher, and this looks just about the same, if not better, than it did last week.
2 for 2 on stuck landings for Lexi Zeiss. Well, Sunday afternoon, we've got a big SEC women's hoops game for you. Number 2, South Carolina hosts undefeated, and number 5, Vanderbilt. Coverage tips at 3 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Lexi Zeiss is rolling, man. What a luxury to have her as your leadoff.
Yeah.
So putting up those huge numbers. Cecily Rizzo now following that Hofseth 9.65. So indeed, they did deduct pretty significantly on that landing. Kentucky will not want to count that 9.65. They need to see 5 scores, 9.8 or plus the rest of the way.
Doing another Yurchenko layout full, but she gets a lot of height off the table, and the textbook way of doing a vault that twist is you have to wait off the table. There she goes, waits before she starts twisting, and it showed up. That's why her landing was so controlled when her feet hit the ground.
That qualifies as a tiny hop in my book. Maybe a 0.5 on that one.
Small hop is up to 1, but I agree. I think that could be a half.
Ashley Cowan, the second gymnast to go for the Tigers. Zeiss in the leadoff, a 9.925. That is a massive score for your leadoff gymnast on any event.
Good extension on the catch. Judges want to see straight arms when you catch that bar. Good job from Ashley Cowan. Slightly shy of that vertical position. Gymnasts have a 10-degree window. It'll be interesting to see what the judges do for that handstand. Again, small hop on the landing.
Ashley went 9.85 last week against Georgia. Here's another look.
Look at her arms. They're completely extended right there. And that gives her a good positioning to go straight into that overshoot. That's going to get her some bonus there.
Back over to vault. Rizzo, a 9.825 for Kentucky. Very good. Callie Gardner now in the third spot. Can they keep the scores growing?
This is their first 10-0 vault of the rotation. Doing a front pike half. Good job. I like how much height she got. She looked like she struggled on the rotation just a bit and bent her knees, but good job being so quick twitched on the ending to get her chest up quickly to try and fool the judges just a bit.
Well, we'll find out if she fooled the judges, Sam, when we get that score that comes in. That vault, as Sam mentioned, starts from a 10.0. The other two vaults for Kentucky both started at a 9.95. Ashley Cowan, a 9.875. Madison Ulrich now the next to go. Spent 2 years at Denver University, was outstanding there. Actually qualified to the NCAA championships last year as an individual and finished 6th in the all-around. Tough to do that when you go to an NCAA championships by yourself without the whole team with you. She's outstanding.
Yeah, head coach Jay Clark called her the stabilizer on every event, especially bars. And now every time I hear her name, I think of that. What a compliment to be the athlete that continues the momentum, the upward growth of a rotation. That's what Maddie's been able to do for this LSU team. Solid bar routine. A little rushed on some handstands, but it's going to be another solid score for LSU on bars.
That double layout just floated.
Yeah. Opens her arms. Good timing. Stretched on that pack salto from high to low. Opens her hips nicely on the dismount and just needs to be a little bit more patient to absorb the ground. She's in the right shape.
Back over to vault. Ryan Noonan upgraded her vault coming into this season. Last week got a 9.825. See what she does today.
Yurchenko half on, tight half off, and very good landing. I saw a vertical chest. I saw she bent her knees on the mat. Just a small step with, I think, just 1 foot.
Guys, over here by the LSU Bars Corral. I was at their facility yesterday for their intra-squad, and I saw several bar routines that are not in this lineup. And Jay Clark told us the depth that we have on this event is incredible. They're at the point of having to choose consistency. He said, we have some of the most beautiful routines that we haven't even competed yet. What a luxury.
Yeah, seriously, Taylor, having so many great athletes. You got 9.9 pluses sitting on the bench. As we see Kaylin Chio, she follows Ulrich's 9.85.
Good job opening her hips to really milk that bail to handstand. She does a nice job placing her body in the correct spots. And she almost holds herself in the shapes, almost to show the judges, hey, you can't take this deduction. And then when you finish with a stuck landing like that, the way that she's able to bend into the mat is just beautiful. Check out this release move. Joaquina over the bar, straight legs. And then again, in a twisting dismount, sometimes it's hard not to have your legs all twisted up, but hers are really nicely squeezed together. So every single angle, you're going to get the same amount of deductions.
I'll tell you what, Lexi Zeiss and Kaylin Chio are having a stick contest tonight. They're both 2 for 2 through 2 rotations.
I think that's a good contest that they can get behind.
Ryan Noonan got a 9.875 for Kentucky. Here's Delaney Rodriguez.
New vault for her. Yurchenko 1.5.
Did she hold it long enough?
That is going to be up to the judge's discretion. She almost had it, just needed to sit up a little bit more. She was on her heels, but she was trying to do what we all like to call a little college stick. So I'm actually very curious what the judges will do with that.
Yeah, open yourselves up because you're supposed to slide your feet together as well, which she turned to step to the judge before she brought her feet together, which creates a whole nother dilemma. We won't go down that road, but certainly open yourselves up to some deductions. We'll see what they do with it as we look at another transfer, Courtney Blackson. What an addition she's been.
Yeah, and she's got some power. She brings it to all the events. Just such a dynamic athlete. But look at this skill right here. You can almost count how long she's in the air. Wow. Really beautiful. I've actually seen her go higher than that, believe it or not. And once somebody in your lineup sticks the landing, for some reason, we say it's contagious. It's just so much easier for everybody else in the lineup to stick, and I think that's what's going on here for Bars.
It's nice to go after that 9-9 from Chio. Also maybe takes a little bit of that pressure off, but Blackson was at Boise State, actually was planning on retiring, and Jay Clark and Garrett Griffith, who's also on that LSU staff, were visiting a gym in Boise, and she was there, and he jokingly said, anybody got eligibility? She raised her hand, and well, here she is. What a story, and she's been a fantastic addition. Now, talk about a fantastic addition. This vault in the lineup, Anna Flynn Cashin has the potential to go big.
She has the potential to score a 10. Oh, man. It is such a well-executed vault. The way that she enters the table, the pop she gets, the timing of her twist, it is just only a matter of time before she gets a 10. Scored a 9.95 last weekend, but if you're watching this, remember her name because at some point this season, mark my words, it's going to be a 10.
Yeah, that was a big vault for Kentucky. Rodriguez, a 9.775, which not really the score they need from her in that spot. They got her on those steps on that landing, so gave away a 10th or two there, but other than that, a decent vault rotation for Kentucky, and now Connor McLean, she's anchoring this bar lineup following a 9.95 from Blackson.
And talk about athletes that have the ability to score a perfect 10. You're looking at her. Man, she got close to the bar though. But bringing it back did not affect her rhythm. Just places her body in the vertical position. And this dismount is actually the skill that she had to work on the most. Coming from elite gymnastics, there really isn't as big of an emphasis to stick your landing. So
last week put up a 9.85 on this event. Please welcome Kylie Cohen.
Kylie's been so strong in this position. She has big shoes to fill. Coaches tend to like putting an athlete in this position and keeping them there throughout their time. We see that with Lexi Zeiss on the uneven bars in that leadoff position. Really helps set the tone for the team, and there's really a different mental preparation because there's not as much time from the 30-second warm-up to when you salute. Places her series down, little smile there. We were talking to head coach Jay Clark, and he said, I didn't have any concerns coming into the season, but if I did, it may have been balance beam because we were losing so many strong competitors on this event. So that's why he's been overly pleased about the performance from these athletes, especially Kylie Cohen and Lexi Zeiss, who have just been such strong competitors here. A little slow salute there on the finish, but a good start for LSU. This was a highlight for me. Very solid back handspring layout.
And the double high fives from Coach Haley Bryant. That is one of the athletes that they have lost coming into this season. One of the best collegiate gymnasts in the history of the sport. So certainly big shoes to fill, but Kylie Cohen shows how she can lead off a beam lineup. Nicely done there. Now over to floor exercise. Gabby Van Frayen for Kentucky leads things off here. So if you're Kentucky, you just got to keep hitting routines. Minimize those deductions. Try to stick some landings. Maybe, just maybe, can you put a little pressure on the home team, the Tigers, heading into that last rotation?
Coaches say she really has a similar demeanor as her teammate, Delaney Rodriguez, you know, the one we've been talking about all night. She is just really calm in these competitive moments, and they point to her as really the future of Kentucky. Good job fighting through that combination. Didn't quite get the timing of that second flip.
So a hit routine out of the gate for the Kentucky Wildcats. Five-star recruit Gabby Van Frayen in that leadoff spot. As we go back over to beam, let's go to Taylor Davis. She's got a former star of the LSU Tigers with her.
Former star, someone who is no stranger to success here in the PMAC. National champion Aaliyah Finnegan joins me now in the house as an alum, getting to watch a meet for once. What's it like on this side for you?
This environment is incredible. I mean, coming into the PMAC is always a joy, but taking an outside look of it, it's been wonderful.
We see Lexi Zeiss getting started here on beam. She's been having an incredible night. Aaliyah, you helped clinch a national title for your team with a huge beam routine. What are these moments like?
You know, in these moments, it's really just all about putting in the practice that you put so many times. And Lexi is so focused. She is so confident with this routine. She starts off 2 others events, so I'm not surprised that she's on the leadoff for this event as well.
Incredible. Well, you get the chance to enjoy it. What can you say about your time here in Baton Rouge?
Every single time I get to come back to Baton Rouge, I'm just remembered of the incredible memories that I have here. This program is so special, and I just hold it so near and dear to my heart. So being back here, it's such a pleasure.
I know they love to have you back, so go enjoy the rest of it. Sam, Lexi Zeiss continuing her impressive evening.
Yeah, she's been so solid, and this is her first year competing beam. I talked to associate head coach Courtney McCool about the transition from her doing beam this year. She said it's the mentality that she thinks about balance beam as train tracks. So every athlete has a different way that they view beam, and I can't stop thinking about that because it's such a good analogy. You got to keep the train on the track, and it's working for Lexi Zeiss.
I mean, the headline is, does Aaliyah Finnegan have eligibility left? I mean, Jay Clark seems to find eligibility everywhere. Well, we'll never know. Tomorrow night afternoon on ESPN and the ESPN app, we've got a bunch of college basketball games for you. At 11 Eastern, Ole Miss takes on Kentucky. Then at 2, number 12 Texas Tech hosts number 6 Houston. And we cap the night with Tennessee squaring off with number 17 Alabama. Chesney Bennett, now the second gymnast to go for Kentucky on floor, following that Van Frayen 9.775.
Nice opening double pike. Coaches were really impressed with her performance quality last week. They said she really looked like she was on a stage. And hey, listen, this is a good arena to pretend like you're on a stage for. You got a big crowd here.
I don't think you need to pretend. This is about as big a stage as you're going to find.
She was an athlete that just did beam last year. So it's great to see so many of these athletes stepping up and improving from year to year. Finishing double back, nicely done. I like how controlled her landings were. She planted her feet and did not move them, which is a good thing to show the judges you can't take anything.
Well, she loves it.
Doing a double pike, legs flew together, lunge, no movement of the feet there. And again, you're gonna see her feet same way. She plants them and holds for a second. And she loved it. I loved it.
Good start for the Wildcats on floor. We'll see what that Chesney Bennett score is when it comes in. Lexi Zeiss for LSU, a 9.825. So 2 scores above a 9.8 to start here for LSU. Now Amari Drayton, former elite gymnast, participated in the 2021 Olympic trials. So much talent.
Last year, she wasn't a staple in the beam lineup, but looks like she will be this year. I know they have a deep roster, so anything can happen, but last week she scored a 9.925, so I think when you're putting up big numbers like that, the coaches can't take you out of the lineup. So as nerve-wracking as these competitions may be, maybe there's more nerves inside the gym when you're fighting for these spots. Coaches are looking for consistency. They're looking for how you handle the pressure in big environments. And Amari is somebody that on this event, she has really proven herself this year. Big gymnastics, round up double full, just the slightest slide of her feet, but another great job. She's really increased her confidence specifically on this event. I think in elite, she was really known for the leg events, but coaches have really helped her believe on herself, and you really see it show up in moments like that.
Chesney Bennett, a 9.825 in the 2 spot for Kentucky. Now Callie Gardner, sophomore out of Greenville, South Carolina. Spent a year at Towson, then transferred to Kentucky.
Talk about replacing lineups. The only athletes in these lineups, they really had to replace 50% of their lineup. Big E pass to get things going. That's a double layout. Very dynamic athlete, huge front tuck into that double back. Just a few landing errors, but really has the ability, as you can see, to be such a strong floor performer. Look at this double layout, really big, but a big slide back with that front foot. You gotta keep that front foot planted. Really important to eliminate those deductions. And again, a little struggle with the landing. She fought through it. She really tried to turn it into some dance and finesse it.
It'll be interesting to see what the judges do with that one, because a couple of landings that give you some gray area, and gray area generally
Wow, what a highlight to finish that routine.
Kalia Lincoln, what a valuable member of this team as well. Battled some injuries earlier in her career here at LSU, but man, when she's healthy, look out. She is tremendous. Next week, we got more SEC gymnastics over on the SEC Network. We start with a Friday night Heights doubleheader at 6 Eastern. Kentucky hosts number 2 Oklahoma, followed by number 4 LSU and number 7 Missouri. Then on Sunday, number 11 Auburn takes on number 5 Georgia. All 3 meets are also available on the ESPN app. Who is that, Sam?
Dee Bro. We know her. We love her. She has been the face of LSU gymnastics for quite some time, and now she gets to just enjoy.
I'll tell you what, she's a star here. She walks around shaking hands and kissing babies, and it's a sight to behold. All right, here we go. Floor exercise. Cecily Rizzo follows a 9.725 from Gardner. Those gray areas, not so great to the judges. They hit her on those landings, Sam.
First pass double pike from Cecily Rizzo, and this year she's competing in the all-around for the first time in her career. I spoke with her this week. She told me that's been a goal of hers. I asked her, what do you want to bring to your team with this all-around opportunity? She said, consistency. I want to be the part of the lineup that they know will be a hit. Tim Garrison has shown how much he trusts her to be that high-level role player in these lineups.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks, Taylor. I'm seeing such beautiful gymnastics from this Kentucky team. Sometimes we like to say there's built-in deductions, but not with this Kentucky team. It's the little details of not moving your feet when you land, and guess what? That's a good thing because that's pretty easy to clean up. Really good, solid routine for Cecily there. Here was that first pass. Watch her feet when she lands. Just a little unsure of that front foot. And again, you don't want to leave it up to the judge's discretion. But I really liked how she worked out of this last pass. No landing errors there.
So Connor McLean gets to follow a pair of 9.925s from Drayton and Lincoln. Those are both career-high scores for both of those athletes. Connor has gotten a 10 on this event. And, man, when she is on and rolling on the balance beam, no one executes it better.
Coaches talk about pacing her differently this year, which is why we have not seen her on all 4 events at the same time yet. Really wanting to preserve her body because she is such an asset. Talking about those built-in deductions, she doesn't really have those. So if she continues this solid routine, there really isn't an opportunity for deduction. Finishes that full turn on a little bit of releve. You don't get extra points for that, but it really does show the judge how much control you have on this 4-inch beam. Connor, to me, really has the perfect amount of beautiful, artistic dance, but also aggressive when she goes for her skills. That's really tough to teach somebody. Just the dismount. Wow.
A stuck landing, and Peshek, I'm going to put you on the spot. Is that our first 10?
I didn't. You know me so well. I mean, when your leaps and your splits are over 180, we're going to take another look. Look at this. 180. Nope, she's above it. Where do you take? And guess what? She had a little issue with the connection at the first meet of the season. Dee wants a 10.
I mean, that's a headline we already knew was printed. Dee always wants a 10, but I agree with her this time.
Little issue with the connection at the first competition in Utah, and no problems. We're hearing boos, so you know what that means.
Yeah, they're not getting the 10 they wanted. Jay's shaking his head. I'll tell you what, look, there's if you want to whittle down the Coda points to every little nook and cranny, you can find a deduction in anything if you really work hard at it. But here's my argument. Here's my point. If she doesn't get a 10 on that, show me the routine that does. That's better than that this season, So that is going to be a tough one to beat.
Let's take a tighter look here. Look, she starts on releve even. She kicks with a straight leg. Her feet are close together. I don't know. And if you're nitpicking all the scores, you know, Kalia's was, in my opinion, a little overscored. She had bobbles throughout her routine. Amari didn't have that. They got the same score. So maybe somebody gets a little overscored, somebody gets a little underscored, and maybe it evens out, and that's how you justify it. I don't know.
I don't know, Sam. We have a judges' conference going on in the floor exercise, so things are a little bit delayed. As you can see, Cecily Rizzo's score is not in yet. Delaney Rodriguez getting ready to go, and it's kind of nerve-wracking to have to wait, Sam, but for Delaney Rodriguez, unfazed is a word that is constantly used with her.
Which is such an interesting word choice to describe somebody, but it is such a compliment in this sport.
Cecily Rizzo, a 9.725 for her team. Two very good athletes to finish up here for the Wildcats, so they're going to look to push that 9.9, maybe even higher, finish strong here on floor.
Really good combination pass to get things going. And you look at her feet, she did not move her heel at all. That's what you get with experienced athletes like Delaney. Certainly going to be Kentucky's highest score of the night. Really curious if they're going to reach that 9.9 range. Her legs are glued together. We broke down her bar dismount of her leg squeeze, and she does a good job bringing that same attention to detail here on floor. When you're twisting, it is really difficult to keep your legs glued together.
That should be a good number for Kentucky with just Kreslin Bros yet to go. As we go back over to the balance beam, Kaylin Chio in the anchor position, coming off an outstanding freshman season, was the SEC Freshman of the Year. She's following that 9.95 from McLean.
Some might say that she's in the perfect position. Scores are building in order to get a 10. However, I have found in my experience competing in college gymnastics that sometimes that can add a little bit more pressure, because you know if you hit a strong one, the momentum is going in your favor. So hopefully she's not thinking about that. And she's staying with her strong mental cues. It's just as important to have a routine in your head that you say to yourself every single time you compete, so that you don't let negative thoughts or thoughts like I'm gonna get a 10 really enter your mind during these critical moments.
I'll tell you what, Kaylin Chio, a fierce competitor. And we throw that word around a little bit, or that phrase around, but she embodies that. She, kind of like Delaney Rodriguez from Kentucky, just unfazed. A lot of pressure on her coming into her sophomore campaign after such a sensational freshman year, but she has answered every bell so far.
What she does well are milking these landings. Her dismounts, her skills on the beam, there's a finesse in the way that she lands that really makes it impossible. Watch how much she bends her knees and just soaks in that landing, doesn't even move her upper body. It makes it more of a crisp stick, which the judges seem to like.
I want to see what the judges do with that. We didn't see a half-tenth in Connor McLean's. I didn't see a half-tenth in Kaylin Chio's routine. I'm not a judge. Where are they going to go with that score? It's hard to believe it'd be lower than a 9.95. Now Kreslin Bros, she's been perfect on this event. Scored a 10 in 2025, and she is an absolute performer here.
big double pike.
You can see the hugs upper right of your screen. It is a 10 for Kaylin Shio, only the third 10 in women's collegiate gymnastics this season.
Some might think it's tough for Delaney to be doing her floor routine. I don't think so. I think quite the opposite. You like to get, Kreslin, you like to get a little bit of encouragement throughout your floor routine, and you can trick your mind into think that they're cheering for you.
That was for her, for sure.
Also, guys, this is the season debut for Kreslin Bros, an athlete who's known for her floor work. Got a perfect 10 last year. She told me how eager she was to get back out here, officially past concussion protocol. And what the entrance? Your opponent's getting a 10 while you go on your first routine, but she can handle it.
Yeah, she told me earlier today, Taylor, how excited she was just to get back out there. She's been really hungry to join her team in competition. Here's that perfect 10 beam routine. Her legs are straight. She doesn't move when she finishes her skills. And then the dismount, back handspring 1.5, and it's just frozen when she lands. Really shows off the crisp way that she executes her routines and those landings. Wow.
Wow, what a performance from Kaylin Shio. She might need to thank Connor McLean a little bit.
Like, it's so long ago, and it was. So in order to have that amount of consistency in your team is really just remarkable. So you know they're doing something right in the gym. It seemed to have been a fluke last weekend, and they're really hoping to rewrite the story here today on Balance Beam.
Sharon Lee to lead things off for Kentucky. You know, we talked to Tim Garrison this week, and the one thing about Tim is that he is a true coach. He coaches the sport of gymnastics as well as anybody. And being a head coach is a lot of things other than coaching. It's managing a team as well. But he knows how to coach, and he will get this team to be competing up to their potential, which I think is the most important thing.
Man. She just really missed her back foot. That was, I'm going to say, uncharacteristic. You know, I watched her compete all last season, and she was the #1 returner on beam. And we talk about Kentucky wanting to have a different outcome in this meet, but how strong you have to be mentally. Not only does it hurt when you have a fall like that, but it's extremely shocking and nerve-wracking to have to go back up and do the skill all over again. And then when you're done, you're mad and you're frustrated because you knew that you could do it like that the whole time. So a lot of emotions going through this beam routine. They're hoping to drop this routine, but again, puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the lineup that so far this season they haven't proven to be able to handle that type of pressure. Another good opportunity for them here tonight, and nice finish.
Let's see if we can tell what went wrong, Sam.
Back handspring, looked like she missed her back foot. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've seen something like that. Was able to finish the routine strong. The way she fell and she hung out there on the floor, I wasn't sure if she had something more serious happen. We'll see. Man, how strong she has to be to finish that routine.
Yeah, that was I hadn't seen anything quite like that. Looked like she just stubbed her toe coming out of that first acro skill. Well, hopefully she is okay. The pressure will be on the rest of that Kentucky lineup. Now we go over to floor exercise. Emily Innes to lead things off for LSU. They are having themselves a night, looking to put up their best team score of the season. They could do it with 5 stellar routines here on the floor exercise.
You know, the last few years, Oklahoma and LSU have really gone head-to-head, and hey, what do you know? Oklahoma put up a big number. LSU's got to respond here. Strong front handspring double full. That's an E-pass.
Well, a subplot to this LSU season, Sam, is, you know, they won the title in 2024. A lot of people were looking at LSU to defend that title and go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma to win in 2025, but things kind of fell apart for LSU in the semifinals. They were just off that night. Jay Clark said, look, we just weren't sharp. We were off on some of our skills. They did not qualify for the final, which is a shock to many, certainly to LSU fans. So a little bit of redemption here in 2026 for them as well.
Good start for Emily. And yeah, Jake Clark told us that it's kind of weird for an LSU team to struggle on the leg events early. And so this is really an opportunity for them to finish the meet strong and put up a good floor performance start to finish.
And if LSU can average a 9.9 in their counting scores, they will put up a 198 to be the first one for them this season. As I mentioned earlier in the competition, 198s, what does that mean? 198s are what wins the NCAA championship. So if you're a team that can get in that range, you're giving yourself a shot. Now, over to balance beam. Cecily Rizzo in the 2 spot. You can see that Sharon Lee, 9.075. Kentucky's not going to catch LSU most likely, but this is a big moment for them. Tim Garrison talks about growth this season. This is a growth opportunity. If they can hit 5 routines, it is huge for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Cecily had a fall last weekend at that meet, and looks like she broke her connection here. Gonna do a back handspring layout. Oh man. You know, we talked about earlier in the meet with those sticks being contagious, and the other side of the coin is that, guess what? Falls are also contagious.
You mentioned missing that connection earlier in the routine right here, Sam. How much does that affect you mentally as you try to regroup? Now you're ad-libbing to a degree. How hard is that, especially on beam?
It's really hard when you get in your head, and you can notice when the rhythm changes for an athlete, and most likely they're not thinking the right things in their head. But for a team like Kentucky that's now had 2 mistakes, the goal for them is just be aggressive. If I was their head coach, that would be my message for everyone coming next. Hey, get mad, get angry, be aggressive here.
Sunday afternoon, we got a big SEC women's hoops game for you. Number 2, South Carolina hosts undefeated number 5, Vanderbilt. Coverage tips at 3 Eastern on ESPN and the app. We talked about a 9.9 average for the Tigers. Well, Emily Innes has got them off to a very good start. 9.925 for her. And Nina Ballou. There might not be a floor routine that's going to be more fun to watch here in 2026 than this freshman out of Boca Raton, Florida, and American Twisters. You talk to Jake Clark about her, and a big smile comes on his face. He says she's going to be a big part of this program for years to come.
Yeah, normally I don't care to watch dance-throughs, but man, my eyes were glued. She has a dance background, and it shows. Starting off, big double layout. She knows how to land. Oh yeah, she's just a freshman. By the way, associate head coach Courtney McCool-Griffith does their choreography and said she had such an input with her music, way more than a lot of gymnasts on the team and much more than a freshman, but it's her first pass, double layout, the way that her feet just look sticky when they hit the ground, and that's really what stands out to the judges is the no movement of the feet.
And always a smile on that face. Chesney Bennett now, a pair of 9.075s to start here for Kentucky. Definitely not what they wanted to see, but 4 to go.
Yeah, you can't work beam scared. So that's the number one thing you can't do right now is have any sort of fear going for that triple series.
Wow, right to the edge, right to the brink, Sam.
Good save. Good strong arm movement straight to that vertical position. And you can see her actually visibly talking to herself. That's actually a good sign. That means she's probably listening to that inner voice, that inner routine more than the noise. And job well done. She needed to stop the falls, so there was a different outcome than last week. She got the job done. But look at this. Handspring layout. I was surprised she was going for that third one because she ran out of beam. Look at her feet here. She's running out of the beam. Barely is able to push through to go for that last one. What a fight for her on beam there.
I love it. That's big time gymnastics, and you do that after a couple of falls when you know your team really needs a hit and you're putting it all on the line. Beautifully done from Chesney Bennett. Now Kylie Cohen, the junior, in the third spot. All 9 9s or better so far for LSU. That is a career high score for Nina Ballou with that 9-9.
You know, I gotta be honest, I don't know how she has the energy to do a floor routine because starting from the first second they walked in the door, she has not stopped dancing. She's got level changes, she did squats, she was cheering for her teammates, and she's still got some left in the tank for this routine.
Sam, it's such a great point. When I was at the Inter Squad yesterday at their facility, Kylie was by far the loudest, most energetic, hyping up her teammates. And keep in mind, this is a team that lost generational leaders in people like Haley Bryant, really looking for that alpha to step up, and Kylie Cohen is stepping into that role.
Yeah, you can't forget Sierra Ballard. She was a leadoff. She was a big voice of this team, and it looks like Kylie is really owning that role, and that's important for the team's success.
Yeah, and that's really something that head coach Jay Clark has told us. I'm really looking for that alpha leader to kind of fill that role. And, you know, the coach can't fill all those roles. You need your teammates to step up and be leaders at times as well. So Kylie Cohen certainly becoming one of those people. 6 9-9s or better for LSU going back in a row, going back to balance beam. We'll see if Cohen can keep that streak alive. Chesney Bennett, a 9.825. So got things on the right track for the Wildcats. Here's Kreslin Bros.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, but this is her first competitive beam routine of the year because she was in concussion protocol. So Kentucky is more than happy to have her back.
We enjoyed having her back on the floor on the previous rotation. Put up a 9.9 there in the anchor spot.
I don't know if I would choose to have my first competitive routine after a couple of falls, but if there's somebody that has the experience to handle this type of pressure, you do want an athlete like Kreslin Bros. I had the opportunity to get to know her the past couple summers, and she is just so optimistic, so bubbly, charismatic, and her energy is infectious. And head coach Tim Garrison said, yeah, her personality is what we've been missing, and it's great to have her back. Listen, it was a step on the dismount. She had a wobble, but it was a hit routine, and that's what Kentucky's looking for right now.
Yeah, first competitive routine of the season on beam as well, something to build on there. Tomorrow afternoon on ESPN and the ESPN app, we've got a bunch of college basketball games for you at 11 Eastern. Ole Miss takes on Kentucky. Then at 2, number 12, Texas Tech hosts number 6, Houston. And then we'll finish off the night with Tennessee squaring off with number 17, Alabama. Kylie Cohen breaks the streak of 9-9s for LSU. It's a 9.825. They're in good shape, though, nonetheless. Amari Drayton up, 3 big-time athletes to finish this floor rotation. And Amari absolutely can get some big air here.
She can, but the last couple of meets, she's really struggled on floor. It's been uncharacteristic, and coaches say that it's been in her head right now, and so this judges conference is not really helping that situation. But hear me out, John. Sometimes when you're focused about the judges conference, you're not focused on the routine. So it could help her.
And you can see some of the guidelines that require a judges conference. Essentially what it is, if the two judges' scores are out of range, if they're too far apart, then the judges have to come together and talk about it and make sure they get on the same page. That we're told this one, Judge 1 at a 9.9, Judge 2 at a 9.75, so that is deemed out of range given the parameters that they work under. And when you do that, you step up and you walk in your high heels across to the middle of the floor and you talk about it, Sam.
Well, what's interesting is they usually don't post the score when there's a discrepancy. So we've had a couple of scoring issues early this season. Luckily, it seems like they're working it out.
No change to the score being sold, so Kylie Cohen's score of 9.825 will stand. Here's Amari Drayton.
Big double layout. Good job finessing that upper body on the landing. Beautiful oversplits. You see the teammates going wild.
Amari struggled on floor exercise in her first 2 competitions of the year, but don't worry about her. She is sensational here, and she showed it to you right there.
Yeah, she really needed to hit this routine for her own confidence. Look at her chest when she landed, though. Big double layout, got hung up a little bit, and you see her chest that's really parallel to the ground. She does a nice job getting it up quickly, but a landing deduction, it says incorrect body posture on landing. The judges could take up to 2/10 for something like that.
Again, one of those gray areas we talked about. We'll see what the judges do. And obviously in real time, it looks a little different than slow motion, but nonetheless, potential deductions. Gabby Van Freyen now follows at 9.825, a pair of 9.825s for Kentucky.
Back handspring, 2 and a noti. I think that's the hardest series in NCAA gymnastics because you're landing in that blind position at the end. No wobbles, though, for her. Beautiful finish. You know, it really helps having a couple of athletes hit their routines before you get up there. It is a total shift in momentum. Looks like Gabby's gonna have another hit routine for Kentucky, and that was really done well. That's gonna be the highest score for Kentucky on beam.
Nicely done for Gabby Van Frayen. We're going to go over to floor. Caitlin Chio is next, and Taylor Davis has got more on her.
Well, John, she is off to a stellar start this season after an incredible freshman campaign. 9 All-Americans, and like Jay Clark told us, some of the all-time greats haven't even accomplished that. And I asked Caitlin, how'd you approach this year? And she said the exact same way. And I think that's making the difference. I don't know if she'll do it tonight, guys, but I noticed last week when she lands something, she nods to herself. I asked her about it. She said, I know when there's a difference in good and great. I nod at myself when I know it's great.
I love it.
Wow.
Well, we'll see if we get a nod at the end of this floor routine. She is in control of the all-around competition here. Amongst those athletes competing all 4 events, she is the leader.
She was solid last year. Taylor, you mentioned that, but this pass is different. It's bigger. 2 flips, 1 twist. Oh, she took a step forward instead of back. That is a slight deduction. Beautiful.
Well, I'm told that with a 7.9, Caitlin Chio can win the all-around. Exactly the note said. All she has to do is stand there and look around for 90 seconds and she's going to win. That was Caitlin Chio's mom, by the way, cheering her on.
I saw her at dinner last night. She was just as lovely as Kaylin is. But check out this first pass. Here's an opportunity for a deduction in my eyes. When you take a step forward, it really indicates to the judge that you're slightly under-rotated. That's where there's potential for a deduction.
Mom loves it. Moms always love it, though, right?
Hey,
they gotta.
Yeah, they have to.
A lot to love. Caitlin Chio has just picked up right where she left off after that freshman year. She's been outstanding. Delaney Rodriguez trying to finish this rotation strong. 3 9-8 plus scores for Kentucky in a row. Good finish here, looking for a big one from Rodriguez.
You know what's interesting is this athlete right here used to be in that leadoff spot, and I'm actually curious if they're going to move her back to that leadoff spot. Triple series, no problems. You know, the coaches thought that she could get a higher score being in this anchor spot, but it might actually benefit them having her get things going for this Kentucky team. If you're new to gymnastics, really the interesting part is the strategy and where the athletes in these lineups go. It's something that I look forward to hearing about on our coaches' calls every week and debating on these lineup decisions. A lot to think about, but guess what? There's not a lot to think about. How good Delaney Rodriguez is as an athlete, but also in these critical moments where her team needs her. Triple series, back handspring layout, and just frozen again. She went to the same club gym as Caitlin Chio, and they actually have a similar way that they land on balance beam. It's cool to see that.
So good finish for the Kentucky Wildcats. They will have to count one of those 9.075s, unfortunately, but man, way to rally and hit 4 strong routines. All right, now it's come down to Kalia Lincoln. Obviously the team title is going to be LSU's, but just a little subplot to this competition for the Tigers tonight. A 9-9 from Kalia Lincoln will give LSU a 198 score. You can see right now at the bottom of that score, 197.925. They would be able to drop that 9825, and they'll get to that 198, that magic number. It will only be the second 198 from any team in this collegiate season. The only other one was Oklahoma again earlier today.
The key for her in order to get a 9-9 or better is the landings, because her leaps or oversplit. Her tumbling, it's definitely high enough. You're going to see it
Through the
in the
roof.
first pass. It's right in front of us, and John and I are shocked. Wow. What a way to finish for LSU. They've been struggling on floor, and this, to me, this meet, this rotation sets them on a different path.
This first pass, though, Sam, she has to bail out of this to slow her rotation down.
She has to take a full deep breath in the middle of it because she's just so high. She is extended. She opens her hips. I don't know if she could flare even more than that. Haley Bryant loved it.
Jay Clark is smiling ear to ear.
He's doing the Kurt Signetti smile. It's on the inside.
Again, a 9.9 for Kalia Lincoln will get him to that magic 198 number. You don't win any extra prizes for it, but it's certainly a milestone. Teams like LSU certainly want to know they can get to. Almost certainly feels like a 198 or more is what it's going to take to win the NCAA championships in April. And there's the score, a 9.95 for Kalia Lincoln. You know, it looked like LSU, Sam, started a little slow on vault, but they just ramped it up event after event, and then beam and floor came in. Wow.
Yeah, what I was